Okay, so my name's Hamish Macdonald. I'm going to be your Shenachie for the next wee while. Do you know what a Shenachie is? Storyteller, yes. What were you going to say?
Storyteller as well.
Bang on, storyteller. And also, a Shenachie was also a kind of clan genealogist as well. Kept the memory of, the bloodlines and so on, which was very important. So I'm going to, any Outlander fans?
Oh, yeah.
One or two, yeah, okay. So if I was to ask you, what is the kind of central theme of the Outlander? Are you familiar with the prologue?
People disappear all the time.
People disappear all the time, okay? I'll read a wee bit of it. Actually, I've got a shiny edition here, hardback, that someone's lent me. So the prologue reads, people disappear all the time. Ask any policeman. Better yet, ask a journalist. Disappearances are bread and butter to journalists. Young girls run away from home. Young children beware stray from their parents and are never seen again. Housewives reach the end of their tether and take the grocery money and a taxi to the station. International financiers change their names and vanish into the smoke of imported cigars. Many of the lost will be found eventually, dead or alive. Disappearances, after all, have explanations, usually. The idea, the theme of disappearance in Highland folklore, okay? So quite in Scottish folklore and Celtic folklore and myth as well. There are many stories of people disappearing, sometimes for a week, sometimes for days, sometimes for years. For example, Thomas of Tam of Ercole-Doon, rhyming Thomas a rhymer, or an old legend. Some of the versions are he's in the borders and he goes away and he meets the Queen of Elfland and he disappears for 7 years and he comes back with all this wisdom and the gift of prophecy. There's all sorts of legends where people disappear, and one of them is, it would be remiss of me, there was even a Roman legion disappeared in Scotland. The 9th Legion of Hispania apparently came to Scotland and the whole legion disappeared. There's all kinds of tales about that. But the first story I'm going to tell is more local because it concerns a couple of fiddlers from Speyside, from Strathspey. And they were very good fiddlers. Fiddler, so it's important. Fiel is Gaelic for fiddle as well. So there was these two fiddlers and they came from this area, okay? And they were very accomplished fiddlers, but in those days there were, fiddlers were 10 a penny in Scotland. So what they did was they became itinerant musicians and they generally went from town to town, and if their services were called on, they would go and play at a wedding or a funeral, a wake or a funeral, or some kind of gala or whatever was going on. So these two fiddlers from Strathspey, okay, they were on the road and they were up in Inverness, and they went around this Inverness to see if they could possibly find an engagement. So they asked here, they asked there was nothing going on. So eventually, not even an innkeeper would allow them into play. So, and they thought, on this particular day in Inverness, the atmosphere seemed very, very strange. It seemed like something wasn't quite right. So they decided, what we'll do is, we'll go out and we'll busk on the streets. These two guys decided, as they'd done before, when work was scarce, to go out and start busking. So they took their fiddles and their cases and they went down to the riverside in Inverness and they put the case down for people to hopefully throw money in. They got the fiddles out and they started playing wonderful music. And they were playing away for quite some time. And they noticed that no one was paying any attention to them. So they tried to play better and faster tunes. That wasn't working. They tried playing slow airs. That wasn't working. We'll try a march or a reel, and that wasn't working either. So they wondered, what's going on here? People just seem to be walking past us as if we don't exist. So they're playing away, and just as it was getting dark, they noticed this little strange man on the corner of the street had been looking at them for quite some time. He was about so high, he had a big beard, a big white beard. He was dressed in green and he was looking at them with some interest. And eventually they packed up the fiddles and they said, I thought your music was very good. He said, can you come with me and I'll take you somewhere, it'll be appreciated. So they picked up their fiddles in the cases, off they went, walking through the streets of Inverness, out of the town. And just as they were coming out of the town, they heard the town clock striking 12. And just at that, the moon rose over a strange hill. And the name of this hill is Tomnahurich. It's now in the outskirts of modern Inverness. It's now a cemetery. It didn't used to be a cemetery. It means that the hill of the yew trees, Tomnahurich. And they were walking past, and it was thickly wooded at that time. And the little man said to them, "Follow me." So they followed this little man down a windy path, twists and turns through the dark yew trees. And suddenly they came to a wooden door on the side of the hill. So they wondered what it was. So the little man took out a big brass key, opened the door. The door opened, and then they went in through a tunnel, a passageway, into the side of the hill. And they could hear this noise away at the end of the hill that was going, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Lonja, Marsh, Lonja, Marsh, Lonja, Marsh, Lonja, Marsh. Does that sound like good music to you? No. Pretty awful, isn't it? So they walked out of the passage, and they came to this great chamber inside the hill. And there was hundreds of little folk, men and women dressed in green and red. And they were playing away on fiddles and bagpipes and guitars and drums and harps and what have you. Playing this music, and they were singing along. They were going, Jalunja Marsh, Jalunja Marsh, Jalunja Marsh. And that means Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday. And they all had terribly glum and sad faces. Oh, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. And there was this little man on a rock in the centre. He looked like he was the king. He was sitting there. He had a big top hat on. He had the biggest beard of them all, right down to his big shiny boots. So they thought, he looks like he's some kind of authority here. So we'll go up and ask him. I said, what's going on here? What's this Jalone, Jamash, Monday, Tuesday music? He said, we've been cursed, he said. 1,000 years ago we played the best music in Scotland, the best music in the world. And there was a terrible war, and we blamed the kings for the wars. And we came in here to get away from the wars. And just as we were coming in, we'd fallen out of favour with all the kings and all the people in power. And they said, we're going to put a curse on you. You're going to be locked inside this hill, and you're going to play the worst music you've ever heard. And it's going to go, Jalone, Jamarsh, Jalone, so away they're playing. And they've been playing this for 1,000 years. It's absolutely terrible. He said, if only somebody would come and fix it and make their music better, it might lift this terrible curse of misery that's befallen us. So they asked the fiddlers, have you got any idea what we can do to make it better? You got any ideas? What could they do? Monday, Tuesday. What's that?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, good idea. Yeah. But that's very ambitious, because can you imagine music? Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It would be like Rachmaninoff or something like that, wouldn't it? So they had to get the timing right. So Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
So they said, first of all, we'll try Wednesday, okay? So they went Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Not bad, it's got a wee beat. Okay, so let's try that, okay? So Jalone, Jamash, Jalone, Jamash, Jalone, Jamash, the Kirtan. So. Oh, Jalone, Jamash, Jalone, Jamash, Jalone, Jamash, Kirtan, Jalone, Jamash, Jalone, Jamash. Not bad, eh? Yeah. Oh, Brocken Lom, Tanalom, Brocken Lom, a Suin, Brocken Lom, Tanalom, Brocken Lom, a Suin, Brocken Lom, Tanalom, Brocken Lom, a Suin, she Brocken Lom, a Tanalom, a Brocken Lom, a Suin. Brocken Tana, 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 Brocken Tana, Suin. Brocken Tana, 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 Brocken Tana, Suin. Brocken Tana, 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 Brocken Tana, Suin. She Brocken Loma, Tana, Loma, Brocken Loma, Suin. Not bad, eh? Yeah. Trying a minor key as well, see if we can get it out. Ferranden Boar is merry more, Ferranden Boar is more a merry, Ferranden Forest Mary Moore, a Coney Mary Mary. Ferendon Moore is Mary Moore, Ferendon Moore is more a Mary, Ferendon Moore is Mary Moore, a Coney Mary Mary. Ferendon Creek a Mary good tree, Ferendon Creek a treek a Mary, Ferendon Creek a Mary good treek a Mary Mary. Gelonja Mars, Gelonja Mars, Gelonja Mars, Jakeaton, Gelonja Mars, Gelonja Mars, Gelonja Mars, Jakeaton. Okay, so it seemed to work. So they discovered that they could play reels and strathspeys and all kinds of wonderful music. So the Fairy King and the rest of the people were delighted. So they started playing away the best music you've ever heard. They had the gift of the music back again. So the fiddlers joined in, they were delighted. And it went on and on and on, and this party went on all night. It seemed like the longest night ever. And the two fiddlers were about to fall asleep. And before they fell asleep, they went up to the Fairy King and said, "We've given you the gift of music. What about us? Do we get some kind of reward?" He said, "Well, you've given us the best night we've ever had." He said, "Here's some gold," and they gave them gold. Okay, and away. And they went back out the hill, and the wee man followed them, got the brass key, opened the door for them. Out they went, okay, into the world. So they were walking home all the miles through the country. Look at that beautiful wren with the insect. So they're walking home. Sorry, I get distracted there. I'm a bit of an ornithology fan, as I'll reveal at the end of this. So they're walking home, and they go back to here in Speyside, and they come to their village, and they notice all these strange things are going on. They see these machines on wheels and people dressed in strange clothes, and they haven't got a clue what's going on. So they go into the churchyard, and they see the gravestones in the churchyard, and they see the names of their contemporaries on their gravestones and the dates, and they realise they've been away for such a long time. So they hear a sermon going on in the church, so they get into the church and they sit down in the pews, and just as the minister reads a benediction and proclaims the name of God, the both of them turn to dust and disintegrate, sitting in their seats, because it turns out they went away for a night. They didn't disappear for a night, they disappeared for 100 years, and when they came back, they found their way home, but they turned to dust. And that's the end of my story about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.